Hey there, Steve at Foxcan Farms. Does the bottom of your freeze dryer insulating pad that goes underneath here, does it pop up? We're going to take a look at fixing that today. This pad on the bottom side of the tray, you can see here it's the trays. Got it upside down right now. It keeps coming up like this, okay? Now, I would assume that the point of this, because there's one on the top as well, is to insulate the trays from the cold so that the heat gets to the food on the other side, of course, in the trays. It keeps popping up. I contacted Harvest Right, asked them, what do I do about this? What kind of tape do I use? They just said use 3M double-sided, tape. So I did that, and it popped up again. Also, those of you that might have keen eye may have noticed in the top here, I've already replaced the foil tape because that foil tape on ours kind of started getting frayed. Actually, just went over the top of it with some little bit more industrial type foil tape, if you will. But what do I do about this? Notice there's screws on the sides here. So why don't I just drill a hole right there, and that'll give it some support so that it can stay there. So that's what I'm going to do today. So let's buzz one of these screws out and see what we've got going here. Well, I'm not sure if you can see that. It looks like a fine thread. So of course we're going to need a screw where the threads go all the way up. And it's a finer thread. It's not as coarse as you might use for a say a wood screw. You do just putting decking or 2x4s together. Probably about 1.5 inches. Let's take a look at that. How am I going to show that? I don't know. Maybe you're going to have to trust me. Yep, it's 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inch screw. It's not really that particular what kind of screw we use, or whether it looks the same or anything like that. I don't know. I'll just go in the garage and see what we have, and see if I can't come up with something similar to that with the fine thread. So be right back. Alright, well, here's what I found in the garage. I could run to the store, but I'm not sure it's that important. Got one that's about the same diameter, so that's kind of nice, so they'd be at least somewhat interchangeable if it's ever necessary. But I kind of like the flat head screw pan head screw I came up with there, instead of sticking out like these do. Not that it really matters that much. Looks like it's about, I suppose it's about 1/4 inch short. I don't think it's going to matter. I do think that the further in it goes, because this is a plastic material, you get more support, but I think it's going to be just fine. So what I'm going to do next is figure out what size drill bit to use, and there's really no point in telling you what size, because if you're doing this yourself, you're going to want to do it relative to the screw that you have, and really you want it to be just slightly smaller, not a lot smaller than the threads on your screw, because you want it to have a little bit of a grip in there so it doesn't just fall right out. Like on this one, this hole over here doesn't work, you can see. So that's going to be a pain when you're using it. So yeah, I think the way I do that is probably just take some drill bits. That way, scooch this to the side. I'm sure many of you already know this little trick. Good enough for what we're doing here. We're just going to take one of these out like this and go, oh, goes through there just fine, so that's going to be too big. This one right here, I can get it through there without any effort again, so I'm just going to find the size where it's going to catch, and yet I don't need it to bite that much into the, there we go. So it's not going to fall out, but it's not going to bite into the shelf that much, although it wouldn't hurt if it bit into it a little bit. This is pretty soft, and it would actually effectively thread it. But so I'm going to go with this bit in our situation, and I'm going to set up here. We'll drill a hole quick. Alright, I don't know, doesn't really matter, but you know me, I like things to look symmetrical, so let me take a quick shot of this. 20 and a half. Hey, even I can do that math in my head. That's 10 1/4. Are you filming that again? Okay, so I flipped it around so you can see a little better. You know, this is about in the middle here. I'm just going to try this punch here first, just to see if this is get a good enough spot. Oh yeah, that's good enough. Alright, now I'm going to go slow here. I probably could take this off so I don't have any problems with it. Actually, let it pop up. That'll work. I don't want to go all the way through and damage like I just went all the way through, so I'm glad I did that. So if you're doing this, you might want to just take this out. Take out the 4 screws and pop it out so you don't drill into your insulator, this foam, corrugated foam stuff here, and get a mess there. I'm going to put a screw in here first just to test it before I go and do the other side. Get a big old mess on our hands here. So let's see how it comes out. That's a nice fit right there. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. Okay, so I'll flip that around. We'll do the same on the other side. I'm gonna take this out so I don't have to worry about drilling into it. Yeah, we got the other side here. So one thing I did learn on the other side is it's best to kind of go a little bit further down if you can versus right in the middle. What I did, I think it worked just fine, but yeah, if you don't have one, this is just a, you know, a spring-loaded punch. I'm sure it has a fancy name that I don't remember. But you could use a punch. This is really soft metal. I'm pretty sure this is aluminum, so it doesn't take much to get a starting point, you know, so that your drill bit doesn't wander on you. So boom. Normally when I'm using drill bits, I'll put a, you know, cutting fluid on there. With this, I just don't want to get that all over, and it's coming through nice and good. So look at those nice curls coming off of there. That's a nice sharp drill bit. Another estate sale find. You don't have to worry about condensation under there, getting moisture under there that might cause a health issue because that's where the heat pad is. So everything's drying out under there. And there it is. Lost it. Found it. Isn't it so exciting when you find something you lost? So there we go. Couple screws there, and that thing is no longer bowed. In theory, it should help insulate it a little bit more and help the freeze dryer be more efficient. That's really what its purpose is from what I could tell. So maybe that helps you out. So all I gotta say is make it happen. As you know, we've got a freeze dryer. Bleh, stop. I said use 3M double-sided tape. The way I would do that, the way I do that is probably just take some drill bits. They're over there. All right, I gotta get my old man glasses on. And on the other hand, what about the other hand? What kind of comment is that?